Hello, good people. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. How is it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Mugeshe. Anna Mugeshe is a counselor. Always here every Wednesday and Friday, which is becoming very hard because of the circumstances surrounding me. But thank you so much for those who have been tuning in. Thank you so much for those who have been waiting on me. This is the channel of hope, Anna Mugeshe, the Counselor TV. This is where the language is hope, hope, hope. This is where we give hope. We inspire, we educate, and we tell people no losing hope. At the end of the tunnel, there is light. At the end of the tunnel, there's light. Don't mind about this. This is just to show you that there's a light like that. And then I can do like that to tell you that darkness never remains. Darkness never remains at all at all. And that is where I find my strength to come and talk about hope to people, talk about to those people who listen to me and even those who don't listen to me. Talk about hope to those who are silent listeners and watchers or viewers of Anna Mugeshe, the Counselor TV. Thank you so much. This is where we say, when you fall, you don't dwell on the falling. You dust up yourself, wake up, and move on. This is where we say, you're rejected, you don't dwell on the rejection, you wake up, and you're going to be accepted again. So thank you so much for joining me. And this is also where we say lessons are learned in life. And that is exactly what I want to talk about today. Very important topic about the lessons that I've learned during this time of COVID-19. This is the lessons, this is the topic of today. The lessons that I have learned. Just a few, but very critical and very, very important during this dark season of COVID-19. So thank you so much for joining me. Tune in, watch to the end. It's legit. It's really an encouragement. It's really inspiring to listen to this. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Like the video, share if you like the video, and may God bless you even as you do this. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be back. So thank you so much for subscribing. I'm back. And like I've said, the topic of today is about the lessons that I've learned during this COVID-19. Never mind about whatever I've put here. This is a speaker. It's on a Sunday when I'm taking this video and it's so noisy. There are so many speakers outside the neighborhood, and that is why I have to have this mic. I have to do it on my corridor so that at least we can understand each other. So how have you been since that day when we were together on Friday? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're well kept of the Lord. And what lessons have you learned during this dark season of COVID-19? Darkness will never remain. There's a lot that I have learned, and that is what I'm about to share this afternoon or this morning, whatever time it is in the place where you are in. And I want to talk about the very important lessons that I have learned. Number one, the biggest lesson that I've learned is that apart from knowing that there is God, I believe in Him, and I know He's there. The biggest lesson that I have learned is that your job may never be there forever. You can always lose your job, you can always have it, you can always have another one. This is why I have learned this lesson. Imagine that time when we were told in our country, Kenya, Africa. If you are watching me from outside Kenya, outside Africa, you can tell me what really happened when the song was stay home, stay safe, work from the house. And the whole world had come to a standstill. That is the time I realized that jobs may never last. And by the end of the day, east or west, home is the best. That's the biggest lesson that I have learned. family is the best. So those are the three most important lessons, plus others that I'm going to add. That jobs may never last. Somebody tells me it's not your mother's, it's not your father's, especially if you're unemployed. That does not mean I don't respect my job. I do respect it very much. But since the COVID came, you have realized that your family is the best. East or West, home is the best. I remember this time when we had the first case of COVID-19. And then the fear was there. It was instilled on us. We could see people dying from other countries. And our first case came. The schools were closed. There was lockdown. And everything came to a standstill in our country. That is the time I realized, man, this job may never last. It may never be forever. But your family, your support system will remain and will remain and will remain. Why? Because I had prepared to go to my place of work. I had prepared, tomorrow I'm going to work. And then at 7 o'clock in the evening, and I hear, no job tomorrow. We are supposed to work from the house. Everything is closed. Everything has come to a standstill. And there's lockdown. And then I come back home. And this is where I'm going to stay for almost a year, working from the house and with my family, children not going to school, working from the house, stay home, stay safe. That is the time I realized, guys, East or West, home is the best. And also, apart from knowing East or West, home is the best, the closest people that you could talk to are your family members. Remember, the lockdown was there. There was no traveling. You couldn't go up country. You know, when you're told to work from the house, you can always move up country in your ushago or in your village where you can be comfortable, food is available, and food is very fresh. But there was no doing that. So your family members were the closest. You go back home and stay with your spouse, stay with your children, stay with your, your relatives. That is where you stay. And I realized in this world, family support system is the best. And East or West, home is the best. That job may come to an end and you go back home. That job may come to an end and you go back to your family. That is the biggest lesson that I've learned. In my life, I've never been told to work from the house. It is a norm nowadays. Most people are working from their homes. We learn to live with each other. If you're married, you learn to live with your spouse because 90% of your day, you are at your place of work. You meet over the weekend. If you work late hours and early hours, then you don't meet. But this time around, you're told, stay home, stay safe, work from the house. And that is the lesson and the hardest lesson that we have to learn. So what lesson have you learned? Have you learned that the job can go? Business can end, it can crash, money can go, everything can be over, but all what you are left with is your family. So East or West, home is the best. East or West, family is the best. And by the end of the day, it is the support system of the family that will remain. Those are the biggest lessons that I've learned. The other thing that I have learned is about East or West, home is the best. I remember this time I really wanted things from up country. That is my village in Africa. We have the farming that takes place in our country. A lot of that is done in the up country. I know there are people who are watching me from outside Kenya, outside Africa, and a lot of farming is done in our up-country homes, in our villages, and I really wanted that fresh, vegetables, those fresh things that I really wanted from the shamba, from the garden in our village, but you couldn't get them. And before COVID, you could just travel, go get bananas, go get maize, go get beans fresh and all that, fruits and all that. But during that time, the darkest season of our country, when we had our first case of COVID, we couldn't travel. And I remember talking to my mom and telling her I need this and this together with my sisters. And she had to say, remember there was no public transport because there was no traveling. And she had to say to the only essential transport that was available of the vehicles that carry loads and luggage. And she sent out. And that is the time I realized for sure home is the best. The other thing that I have learned during this dark season of COVID, I have learned that, sorry, let me deal with somebody who is really crying, and then I'll be back. Guys, as you wait on me, subscribe and take a glass of coffee as I take a breather. So yes, it's been the longest season that I have spent with my children in the house. In our country, Kenya, because when we had the first case of COVID and when it became serious, our children stayed in the house away from school for almost a year. And that was a year, that is, and that was the longest time that we've stayed with our kids in the house. So we learned to stay with them. I've learned to stay with them. I know them now in and out. That is a lesson that I have learned. And we don't just curse the negative it has brought, or the negative effects that COVID-19 has brought, but it also has some positivity in it, and we have learned to accommodate each other. I have learned to accommodate my children. I have learned to accommodate and respect my spouse, and that is another lesson that I have learned. The other lesson that I have learned during this season is that I need to spare a coin for tomorrow. The Bible tells us that we should not worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. The Bible also tells us, for those who are Christian, that even the birds in the air never worry about tomorrow. It is a lesson that we have to learn. Yes, God will provide even after we lose those jobs. God will provide even after we lose, or our businesses go on losses and all that. But I have planned and I have learned to spare something for tomorrow. So more than ever, I've known how to save. More than ever, I've known to spare something small aside. It doesn't matter how small it is, but it will work. When some eventualities like this one of COVID comes, we can survive. Because remember, guys, it affected the whole world. It is a disease that has affected the whole world. COVID-19 has affected the whole world. So we need to have the survival tactics, financially, spiritually, economically. Remember, it has also affected our spiritual life. For the first time since I was born, churches or worshiping areas in our country were locked down. As much as the country was on lockdown, the economy was on lockdown, the whole world was on lockdown or on standstill, to date, since I was born, it is the first time when I've seen worship areas locked down or closed down by the government in our country. And in most places in the world, the worshiping areas where people gather to worship God and to pray their God, they were locked down and they were closed. And it is that time when I have also learned, or during this season, that I have learned to be closer to God. And that we don't only worship in church. Church is just a physical building. What is your church? That I can worship God, that I can pray to God anywhere where I am, even in the house, is another lesson that I have learned. That I have to work out for my spiritual being. That I have to work out for my physical, psychological being. Especially because another lesson that I've learned is that this COVID has really brought people down psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. We've come across so many domestic violence and all that. And I have learned to pray to God to help me and guard my heart. Is another lesson that I have learned. I have also learned that we can have a service with my kids in the house. Yes. So what have you guys learned? What have you guys learned? It's been a season and a half. It's been a season that we've learned to work in the house. I've also learned that I can put content in the YouTube. Seriously. Things that I never expected I could do. I've also learned to respect myself. I've also learned to respect my space. I've also learned that I can discover myself and I can discover stuff about myself. So many lessons that we've learned. So many people have discovered themselves. So many people have discovered their talents. And so many people have opened YouTube channel. And so many people are putting content that are helping people like me. So many people have inspired people to get into the YouTube and have their content in the YouTube. And we have become content creators in the YouTube. And this gave birth or became the origin of this channel of hope. Anna Mugeshe the counselor. After discovering that, I can shout out there, I can speak to people apart from counseling, apart from educating, apart from giving hope outside there. Apart from counseling, I can come here and do counseling through this. And thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to thank those who are booking the counseling sessions. It's not expensive. It's very much affordable. If you still want one, there's always a number at the description part of my channel and every video which I upload on the YouTube. So thank you so much, guys. What have you learned? Are you just cursing the day when COVID came into our country, into the world? Are you just dwelling on to what it has really affected you on the negative? I've lost my job. It is because of COVID that I've lost my family. It is because of the COVID that it has affected us negatively. And each and everyone, for your information, has been affected. But we've learned to deal with it. We've learned to live with it because we are not yet off the woods. We are still there. COVID is still there. We are still learning lessons. Please comment and let me know what you have learned during this season of COVID. It is a time, or the first time for most of us, that we've seen such a thing, bringing the world to a standstill. But we won't dwell on the negative. We've got to gather our positive energies and move on, because by the end of the tunnel, there's hope. Or isn't it there? Yes, there is hope. So I hope I've inspired you. I have hope I've given you hope. I hope I have told you that don't dwell on whatever negative is happening. Gather the positive energy and do something about this season. Start it if you have to start it. Earn money if you have to earn the money. And in that case, don't skip the ads, because we need that something little. And we need also to put something aside. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have subscribed. I hope I've helped you. I hope that you can move on and look for that positive energy just to counter the negativities that have come with COVID-19. COVID-19 is still with us. Sanitize, put on your mask, take care of yourself, keep social distance, and don't forget to sanitize on my channel. Sanitize, put a mask, and subscribe. God bless you, guys. God bless you so much. Bye. I am Anna Mugeshe.